Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a bit of an iceberg journey. We're going to peel back the layers of buying a carpet, moving way past the surface aesthetics you see in the showroom, and diving deep down into the hidden costs, the structural fibers, and even the invisible chemicals lurking underneath. Think for a second about what is literally under your feet right this very minute. Is it plush? Is it kind of worn down? And more importantly, do you actually know what it's made of? By the end of our time together today, I promise you, you're never going to look at flooring the exact same way again. We are uncovering the reality of what goes into a carpet, how much it truly costs over its lifetime, and the really surprising impacts it can have on your home environment.
All right, Section 1, the true cost of carpet.
Let's talk numbers, because the math here tells a pretty clear story about value over time. At the entry level, you've got cheap builder grade, which is usually made of low-end nylon or polyester. Sure, it might save you cash up front at just 50 cents to $1.50 per square foot, but you have to consider the lifespan. It wears down fast, lasting maybe 3 to 5 years tops. Then in the middle, you have mid-grade options, things like sisal, olefin, or triexta. These sit between $1.50 and $6 and can hold up for about a dozen years. And then, at the top end, high-quality carpets. These are your heavy-duty designer grands and wools. They can cost anywhere from $6 to a whopping $21 a square foot, but the major payoff is they can last up to 2 decades. It's that classic case of paying a bit more up front so you aren't ripping up your floors every 5 years.
Now, if you take away just one number for your budget today, lock this one in: $2 to $8. That is your mental anchor for the average cost per square foot for the materials and the installation combined. You see, when you're strolling through a store looking at price tags, you're usually just seeing the material cost, but the labor to actually get it installed in your house, that usually adds an extra $1 to $3 per square foot on top of that tag. So this $2 to $8 range gives you a much more realistic picture of your final bill.
Moving right along to Section 2, Nylon versus Polyester, the showdown.
When we put these two insanely popular materials head-to-head, it is fascinating how they trade blows. In one corner, we have nylon. It runs a bit pricier, ranging from 75 cents to $9 a square foot, but it is the absolute undisputed champion of high-traffic areas because of its incredible resilience. In the other corner, we have polyester, generally cheaper, running 50 cents to $6 a square foot, and it is highly fade-resistant and repels water-based stains beautifully. But the true test is how they actually survive in a real home over the years.
To really grasp the difference, consider this insight from a former carpet cleaner sharing their professional, boots-on-the-ground experience. While polyester looks amazing and feels super soft on day one, real users and cleaning pros find that it tends to just flatten out. It starts showing visible walking pathways over time. Nylon, on the other hand, has a sort of built-in memory. It might crush under heavy footsteps or your living room sofa, but it bounces back. It rebounds, keeping its texture and shape for years.
So here is the absolute crucial takeaway. The real threat to your carpet's lifespan is physical matting and crushing, not necessarily staining. A lot of buyers get totally caught up looking for solution-dyed carpets so they won't fade or stain. And yeah, a solution-dyed nylon holds its color brilliantly, but it does absolutely zero to resist actual liquid spills without special chemical coatings. Ultimately, it's the physical crushing of the fibers in your busy hallways and on your stairs that permanently wrecks a carpet's appearance. Structural resilience is really the name of the game here.
Let's dive a little deeper with Section 3. Don't forget the padding.
$510. Yep, that is the average cost just for the padding installation across a standard project. It's a massive budget item that gives a lot of folks sudden sticker shock right at the register, with costs typically ranging from $170 to $850, depending on the size of your rooms. You're paying for comfort for sure, but more importantly, you are paying for the very foundation that literally supports your floor's entire lifespan. This brings us to some fantastic actionable advice with a few rapid-fire padding rules. First up, for living rooms and bedrooms, you're going to want a density of 6 to 8 pounds. This gives you that really nice plush feel underfoot. For high-traffic entryways or stairs, you need to bump that up to a firmer 10-pound density to prevent wear and tear. And here's a critical tip. If you are installing a Berber or a short pile carpet, you absolutely must use a thinner pad, maximum 3/8 of an inch. Using a thick, squishy pad under a stiff Berber can actually damage the carpet backing and completely void your warranty. So drill this into your mind. Thicker is absolutely not always better.
Which brings us to Section 4, the invisible threat, PFAS.
All right, we seriously need to talk about PFAS.
These are synthetic, forever chemicals that have historically been pumped into carpets, rugs, and those aftermarket stain-proofing sprays we all used to use without a second thought. They were designed purely for convenience to make fabrics effortlessly repel water and stubborn stains. But here is the major problem. These chemicals don't stay locked in the carpet. They can slowly escape from the fibers and mix right into the ambient air and the household dust that you, your kids, and your pets are breathing and swallowing every single day. And because they don't easily break down, hence the name forever chemicals, they can gradually build up in the body over time.
To give you an idea of how seriously this public health issue is being taken now, consider the aggressive timeline rolled out by the Washington State Department of Health. Back in 2018, they banned PFAS in food packaging and firefighting foam. By January 1, 2025, the sale of brand new PFAS-containing carpets, rugs, and aftermarket sprays was strictly banned in the state. In looking ahead to 2026, existing stocks of PFAS personal care products must be entirely off the shelves. While modern legislation is aggressively catching up to this, it is highly likely that the older carpets currently sitting in our homes right now are still filled with these chemicals.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, Smart Carpet Buying Strategies.
So what can we actually do about all this? Here is your game plan for maintaining a healthier home and safely managing older carpets. Step 1. Vacuum weekly, but you really need to make sure you're using a HEPA filter. A standard vacuum just blows that chemical dust right back into the air, whereas a HEPA filter actually traps it. Step 2. Damp dust your surfaces with a microfiber cloth instead of using a feather duster. Feather dusters really just act like mini tornadoes, pushing the mess around the room. Step 3. Completely avoid using those aftermarket stain-proofing sprays on your furniture or rugs. And finally, if you are buying new today and want a healthy, highly durable option, look into Triexta. It's often sold under the name Smart Strand. It is a brilliant modern fiber alternative that actually has built-in stain resistance, meaning it doesn't rely on those hazardous chemical coatings at all.
We have covered a ton today, from those hidden upfront costs and the great nylon polyester debate, to the strict rules of padding and the invisible reality of forever chemicals. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder. Next time you walk barefoot in your living room, what will you really be stepping on? Are your floors built to rebound? Are they properly padded? And most importantly, are they safe? Take these insights, check your own floors, and make sure your next home update is a smart one. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I'll catch you next time.